I'm Sam Wurzel, founder of Fusion Energy Base. FusionEnergyBase.com is a website, helps people working on fusion understand who's working on what with whom, and it helps people who want to get involved to figure out where to plug in. I'm also the co-author with Scott Shu of two papers which have been published in Physics of Plasmas. The first was Progress Towards Fusion Energy Break-Even and Gain as measured against the Lawson criterion in 2022. And in 2025, we published a follow-up to that paper. What we set out to do was to take the long arc of fusion research going back to the mid 20th century and plot every major experiment that we could find in the peer-reviewed literature on a single chart showing the progress towards levels of energy gain that are relevant for future fusion power plants. The way we did this was to use Lawson's power balance analysis, which shows that it's both ion temperature and also the product of density, ion density, times the time that energy stays in the plasma. And those two quantities determine the energy gain of a fusion plasma. I think this work helped researchers, investors, and honestly just curious people get a clear picture of how far the field has come along that axis of energy gain and has generated a lot of excitement about the future of fusion. So happy Fusion Energy Week to everybody. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mordy Rosen. I have had the privilege of doing design work, target design for laser fusion program at Lawrence Livermore National Lab. I recently published an article in Physics of Plasmas, our premier journal, about what it took to achieve ignition on the National Ignition Facility. And it took perseverance, which is a lot of hard work and optimism and patience. It took a great team of world-class scientists of diverse skill set. It took listening to other outside sage advice, and it took collaboration with colleagues around the world. Most of all, what it took was to use the laser fusion superpower, which is the ability to innovate and change. We achieved ignition with a target that was different from its original concept in every single way. Now that we've achieved ignition, there are a great many private companies that are starting to explore their different approaches to inertial confinement fusion, inertial fusion energy, and this is a great sign and indicator for the future. So it's been a very satisfying career. Thank you.
Well, my name is E. Michael Campbell. Most people know me as Mike Campbell. I've been involved in fusion research for over 50 years. I have started my career working in the inertial fusion program at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory, participated in many of the early critical experiments. My last job there was basically as Associate Director for Lasers, where I was responsible for defining the mission need, science and technology requirements, and selling the National Ignition Facility to the government, which we successfully did. I'm also very proud of the results that Livermore has done and what the community has done in getting scientific break-even at NIF. After Livermore, I spent time at General Atomics running the energy program there, which included both magnetic and inertial fusion. And I ended my career at the University of Rochester running the laser program at the Laboratory for Laser Energetics. I'm a big believer that fusion will eventually power the planet. And it's what the need. There's been great advances both in inertial and magnetic fusion over the past number of years, and alternative approaches also. And one of the things that I'm always inspired by several quotes from President Kennedy. On Earth, God's work must truly be our own, and so fusion powers the universe, and we're trying to bring it here to Earth, and we will eventually do that. The other one is that going to the moon. We do this because it is hard, not because it is easy. Fusion is very hard, but eventually because of the great progress and the great researchers and around the world, fusion eventually will power the planet. So my best wishes to all those involved in fusion, and keep on making the progress. Let's get this to work. Thank you.